So, you got my money?
Muted. Boom. There we go. Good start. My apologies. Welcome back to 10K Bets, the live show. Hopefully nobody goes back and watches that bit. Embarrassing start to the show. We are professionals, and I cannot believe I messed that up. Joined with me today, we have the legend, Sammy Stats himself. We have Renzi boy. Renzi, been AFK for a little while. How have you been, my man?
What does that mean? What does AFK mean?
Away from keyboard, I guess, since this is
away from show. Keyboard. I'm not a pro at the keyboards, but no, I have been a little bit away for a little bit. Been busy. Busy time of year for me. Summer, lots of stuff going on. Boozing with the boys, boozing with the bitches. A little bit of everything. I'm trying to get white boy summer, fat boy summer. It's off full swing, so I'm enjoying it in full swing. And it's kind of my I'm not gonna say off season for sports betting, but it is like my slower time of year. So but I gotta pick today. That's a lock. So
you just full blown, like, I don't want to like jump in here or anything, but you just full blown gave like the equivalent of like a hockey guy answer. Instead of saying like pucks in deep, you're just I've been busy. Like, just giving very generic, very broad statements for why you're not hanging out with the boys and talking sports betting. If I were you, I would.
I just hung out with you guys just 2 weeks ago.
That's besides the point. That's besides the point. I think what you should do, you should have came in and be like, sports betting was not pushed through. It was heartbreaking. I needed to myself. I needed to reflect and figure out. Marijuana made it, but not sports betting. The one thing
it never had a chance. Sports betting never had a chance, and it's not. I'm so sad. I don't see it happening. Like, it doesn't seem like it's a priority next year either. So I honestly don't know when it's going to happen. If it's going to happen, they honestly don't care. And it's partially on like the Minnesota legislature. It's partially on the racetracks. It's partially on the Indian casinos. It's a big combination of everyone just like being greedy and not giving a shit. It's like, just listen to the people that give all you guys all the money. It's us, the people that bet. Like Indian casinos, we go play blackjack, all the games at your casino. We pay all your bills. State of Minnesota, we pay all your racetracks. We pay all your fucking bills. Just let us do what we want. Rant over.
What if I told you there was good news? What if I told you that I know of a website that you can legally sports bet in the state of Minnesota? It is called Better Edge. And what if I told you we even had a promo code? Can you believe that? 10,000 Takes has a promo code over at Better Edge. 10K Takes, you put it in there, $20 for free. Now, while you cannot legally sports bet here, they work as a head-to-head service where you can take on your homies, you can take on strangers and try to win some money off of them as well, too. And guess what? Completely legal. And on top of that, too, no fees. You don't have to pay any fees. It's the best thing about it as well, too. So make sure you head over there today. Make sure you use code 10K. But we have some news. I don't even know if I'm allowed to drop this before we introduce Mikey into the show. We hit up Sammy Stats as well, too. We are going to be on KFan starting here sooner than later. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Last summer, we had the It's a Bet show run by mostly the It's a Bet boys. Now that we're making a transition, it will now be the 10K Bets on KFan. So make sure you guys check that out as well too. We're still going to continue to do the Tuesdays. We're going to continue to do the Thursdays, but now you can check. I'm not going to drop the time slot. We'll announce it when it comes up here soon, but you're going to be able to catch us on KFan sooner than later. Different than last time, different day, different time slot. Check us out. We're going to be talking sports betting. Huge for the boys. Huge for the boys.
Massive win.
Last summer, I was on an episode of It's a Bet right before the 4th of July holiday weekend, and I think I'm the one who broke the news about Joey Chestnut's injured leg before the hot dog eating contest.
We are going to have to do 100% a massive extravaganza for the 4th of July. Like, just like on that show, we're going to make it a big deal. We want to see you guys. We want to put up our money. We want to see you guys put up your money. I mean, there's safe bets in that, right? Like, there's not a whole lot of like. I feel like everybody wins when you bet on a hot dog eating contest. Yeah. We win, they win, like everybody. Nobody, unless you're PETA. Maybe they're the only exception to eating an L there in that entire competition. But Mike, joining the show. How are you doing, buddy?
Oh, the 10K bets way, right? Showing up a couple minutes late. So just sweating out this Vegas game right now. They're putting it to bed tonight. I'm pretty confident they're up 1-0 right now. So Let's just end the Stars season.
Now, here's something we got to bring up real quick. Two things here. Talking about hockey, we're going to get to that. Send some love to Josie as well, too. If you guys can find him, let him know you're thinking of him. In the ER currently right now, could not make tonight's show. He said, I'm going to do it from the hospital. I'm like, no, dude, you rest up. You sick freak. Have yourself a vodka, Red Bull vodka, whatever you drink in the hospital, and you take the night off. So credit to me. He didn't make that decision. I made that decision. I'm a great leader, but that's besides the point. That's a joke. He actually is legitimately in the ER. So send love, send prayers, send whatever you got his way as well, too. But one of the things we got to bring up as well, too, talking about hockey, our boy, Blackjack, back in the chat. We need to talk about this. Now, here's what I need a response from you, Blackjack. I don't know what you're talking about, what Matty Tkachuk did to make us jump off the Florida bandwagon, but you're scaring me because me and Sammy Stats put futures on Florida based solely on you. So you better let us know right now. And Mike, you hopped on that too?
No, it's basically just the fact that they touched the trophy for being the conference champions. It's known to be so. He's like, yep, he ruined it. Like there's like a 50-50 like split of people that say it's bad luck or it's
for sure. As a hockey fan, I understand that. I get it. I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it.
Yeah, I don't believe any part of it. I think Florida's so good that. I mean, I don't know what could go wrong for this team right now. To be honest, the defense is spectacular. Goaltenders lights out. They're getting pucks in deep. Their forecheck's fantastic, and they're burying the puck when they need to. I mean, this team is really incredible. I mean, like I said, I don't know what could go wrong for them right now. They are playing lovely hockey. I don't see it stopping either. And I'm really not – I don't think they're afraid of Vegas either. I mean, I know Vegas has a ton of experience and, they've been there, but I still don't think it changes much. I know I'm sure it'll give them a harder time, but I still think Florida is just on this train track and it's not stopping.
Yeah. Can I throw some surprising numbers at you really quick? I pulled up the numbers, obviously, to figure out where I always want to look at the adjusting odds because I caught them at plus 750. So I'm very proud of that one. I'm super psyched. Couldn't be happier about getting into that number. I kind of wish I would have hopped on it earlier. Should have trusted in Blackjack, and I just didn't. Now, two things I want to throw at you. We're going to talk about an NHL future, and we're going to talk, I guess, technically two NHL futures, but even lines have dropped for the 2023-2024 season, and I want to throw some numbers at you because I think you guys would be absolutely shocked. And I kind of want to know if you guys would touch these or not. So we'll kind of run through four teams here. But right now, as it stands, even though maybe the trophy did something because Florida right now, plus 110, you can still get them at plus money, by the way. So if you want to ride Blackjack with he's killing it. Blackjack, we expect to see some picks from you as we roll out of hockey season, but that's besides the point. Florida, you can still get them at plus money right now. Vegas, even though they're probably going to close it out tonight, Dallas is going to go home crying. You can get Vegas right now at minus 120. They are still the heavy favorites. It's weird to say heavy on a minus 120, but like for a team that has not yet clinched a Stanley Cup berth here, that's a shocking number to try to get them at. That's great. That surprised me. Darius is on the Vegas train as well too. Welcome back to the show, Darius, as well too. But we're Florida boys. I don't know about you, Renzi boy. We have yet to hear from you on if you're gonna even. I know we said we're not gonna bet hockey, and then like you took a break. But hockey has been probably the most exciting sports bets that we've had.
Hockey ended for me 3 weeks ago.
Entirely, eh?
I have been tuning in like from time to time. I do like Florida. It's kind of like they just seem like they're dominating everyone. I mean, this is from a hockey guy like myself. They're just dominating everyone. But Vegas, I don't know. Vegas just seems like a team that'll win. I'd probably bet Vegas. I was going to bet anything. That's just me off of absolutely nothing. Like just feelings. If someone had to make me bet it, I won't. But if I had to, I would bet Vegas.
Well, and Mike, I want to get your thoughts on this as well too. But me and Sammy talked about this a few weeks ago as well too, and we even said that like when you look at before we even got to this point, when we were just talking about like the four, when there was no games being played, we said that we thought like we were going to ride Florida at that time. But we even said that like Vegas is likely going to be the favorite, and it's because they have the big names. That's where the difference lies between the two teams. Florida is doing this And I'd say no big names very loosely. They have some guys who are emerging who are absolutely unbelievable. But the fact that Matty Tkachuk is doing this, no offense to these players, with Dylan Cousins and I'm blanking on the other guy's name. The guy who
they got Carter Verhaeghe.
But he's on the line with the guy who threw that monster hit last night. And I can't think of his. I'm blanking right now. I'm embarrassed. The guy who just absolutely murdered that kid.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat, let me know. We'll highlight you. I need to know who it is. I can't believe I'm forgetting this. Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett, and which is just crazy. That line, like, meanwhile on Vegas, you have Eichel. You have absolute monsters. Their goaltending is the one thing that's like but it's only because nobody really knows a whole lot about them. Whereas like Florida has Bobrovsky, and they got Spencer Knight sitting right behind them as well too. But either way, to me, I understand the lines. It makes me happy as a sports bettor that I can pick a personal favorite based on gameplay and still make plus money. That's what got me so excited about this whole thing. But Mike, what are your thoughts?
First off, your son is fearless for tormenting the dog.
He's right. He's got the bits on and everything. He's heard hockey. He goes, I got to fight the dog. All right.
Yeah, fearless. No, first thing, just again, another fearless person like Matthew Tkachuk. There's a player every year in the NHL playoffs that kind of just goes on a run, scores a lot of points or whatever. But like the fact that he will also talk shit to you and just doesn't give a fuck about anything. He's a pest. He's gonna piss you off, and then he's gonna score on you, which is just like doubly demoralizing. And I think that was like touching the trophy set a lot of people off last night, but it's like that just plays into that. I just don't give a fuck. We don't care. Put anyone in front of us, we're taking them down. I still like Vegas overall, but I mad respect to Matthew Tkachuk and the Florida Panthers. So they have the two hottest players in all the playoffs. So they have Tkachuk, and then Bobrovsky's playing out of his mind too. So, yeah.
Marlo, question for you: do you know if Bobrovsky on the Conn Smythe is still like 5-6 to 1, or did it go down after his shutout last night?
I don't know about the current
or 2 nights ago. Whenever you just had that shutout.
Yeah. So the lines have shifted a little bit. Now, Matty Tkachuk is not the second favorite. It is now Jack Eichel falls into that role. But still, Bobrovsky is the favorite. But it's at but the money came up a little bit. So I think when we originally saw it, he was like plus 130. He's at a plus 200 right now. So 2-1 he's going to get it. And then I said Eichel slotted into that second spot, and then Tkachuk jumped all the way up to plus 380, I believe. 380, 400.
Well, that's not awful.
Boys.
Yeah, that might be a sprinkle. I mean, he is been a massive part, obviously, of Florida, and the goaltending's been absolutely lights out. But as far as a guy that's getting big time goals in big time moments, Matty Tkachuk is right there. So I don't hate the right around 4-1 sprinkle there. I think it's even worth the taking both of them at, plus 200 and then plus 400, because if Florida wins, it goes to one of those guys, and you'd be making money either way, especially because they're both plus money. So but wow, Tkachuk at 4-1, that's pretty enticing.
Yeah, 100%. Here's something I want to throw at you as well too. I was actually looking at, like I said, 2023, 2024 future odds dropped, and this is it's a stupid thing to talk about. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. What we're about to do here is very dumb to even be like, I would take that, because it is asinine. Who knows what's going to happen in the offseason? But there's a couple of teams I wanted to highlight on right off the bat for the next year's Stanley Cup odds. And there's a couple that absolutely shocked me. Your favorites as it stands right now for next year to win the Stanley Cup, who would you think based on this year, whatever you're thinking? I guess Renzi Boy or Sammy Stats. Who do you think is the favorite as it stands right now for next year?
The Colorado Avalanche.
You are correct. Colorado Avalanche are sitting as the current favorite right now. Now, the shocking thing about this as well, too, the team that is unproven, untested is now second place on odds, the Toronto Maple Leafs at plus 1,100. That's wild to me. They just got rid of their GM. You never know if the new GM is going to come in and clear house. Like, you don't know how any of that stuff's going to work. I don't think they can technically, because they're stuck in kind of a contract hell. with like no real way of getting out. But New Jersey Devils plus 1,300, another shocking team to see up on the very, very top. But your Minnesota Wild, because this is obviously a Minnesota sports betting show. We all love our Minnesota teams. Sammy Stats is rocking the gorgeous, gorgeous hat. But Minnesota Wild coming at plus 3,000. They are sitting at a very high, very far out spot from the Stanley Cup. And I get that. That makes entire sense as to why that's the case. Boston Bruins is the one where I'm not positive will do well, but we talked based on Toronto's history. I can't see them being that high. Correct. That's what's wild about it. Second, after just losing their general manager, and it wasn't his fault. The team just sucks. You have a lot of great pieces. The team just sucks. What are you going to do about that? But even Blackjack's talking about Boston. Boston comes in at the 4th best odds, and I think it's because they might lose Bergeron. I think he's donezo. I think it is. We
still
say
give
that
me Boston.
We still say that every year, right? But I don't think people really grasp how important he is to that team. He is the team. Like, I know obviously they have a bunch of very key, like massive pieces. Like, I'm thinking, I can't remember the defenseman's name, Charlie McAvoy. McAvoy is always on my list of Norris favorites that I always sprinkle just a little bit for the Norris Trophy. He never gets like that close to it. He did like a year ago or something like that. But without Bergeron, they're in a weird spot. They would have to capture on like a big time centerman. And they're not going to get it from Toronto. Toronto has them. Toronto's not going to give it to them. They'd have to capture on like a big time centerman that plays like Tavares style hockey in order to, I feel like, stay in the spot that they're in. But who knows? It's hard to say.
Honestly, just a couple points with that. They still have Pasternak. He's, in my opinion, he's one of the most talented, fun. Pasta in Boston. Now, sure. Yeah, exactly, Veach. I mean, the Pasta's unreal. He's so fun to watch. On the power play, just feed him the puck, and more often than not, he's going to either make a play or he's going to score a goal. You're right. Losing Bergeron is tough for sure, but honestly, still with the pieces they have, Allmark was incredible this year. I could see him having another fantastic season. And what did you say they're at? Plus 1,400?
1,300 right now.
1,300. Yeah. I mean, to me, that's great, especially because, the first battle is making the playoffs. And I think that they have a relatively good chance at doing that. And then from there, the odds get significantly worse once they make that playoff. So, you'd automatically be getting a good ticket at 13-1. It's Boston. It's Boston sports. They're just they just are incredible. Every year, it's like they make the playoffs. That's the bar that they've set, just for the city of Boston. So yeah, I mean, 13-1, I will definitely be jumping on that. I think even with losing it, I think they're great.
That was kind of a hot take recently, and I kind of want to ask you guys' opinion on this one. Has Boston earned the right to complain when they don't do well in playoffs or make playoffs? Have they earned that right? That was like a big talking point for like the past few weeks here, but
absolutely not.
No, I don't think so, but I understand where they're coming from. Like, if you make the playoffs, think about how devastated we are when we make the playoffs. When you have a team that's expected to win and go far and they get like blown out or they don't make it, I understand that. Like, I would be pretty pissed too. Kind of like look at the Vikings. Obviously, everyone thought they were frauds, but you had a team 13 wins this year. Just get pretty much smoked by the Giants in the first round. Devastating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand it's devastating for them, but like long term, like it's one of those where you guys have 24 hours to feel sorry for yourselves. But all these guys that are coming on this podcast whining about it over and over and over again, that's enough. We don't care. That's enough. Let's
just stop whining on podcasts in general, eh? But Renzi, I don't think I know anybody who thought the Vikings were frauds last year. Do you? I can't think of it.
I remember a guy who thought the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to win them.
Trubisky, we trust, man. It's Trubisky, we trust.
Are you going to be on the Kenny Pickett?
100%.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're on the Kenny Pickett train.
Well, going back to Boston's point as well, too, one thing that's like underrated as well about that whole thing is that not only did Allmark have an unbelievable season, they have Jeremy Swayman, who's a stud goaltender. Yeah. I love him as a goalie.
They're so deep. I mean, if Allmark isn't having, like the year that maybe he did this year or whatever, like Swayman is a very solid backup. And and then, their defense is a core that's very solid too. I think they'll find a guy to replace Bergeron. I don't think it will be awfully challenging. Hey, do you want to come play for the Boston Bruins? Yeah, I think I would. I'd really like to do that. So I'm not worried about it too much. And at 13-1, give me that right now.
Yeah, Blackjack, real quick, sorry, Renzi, I'll get to you, but I'd be interested to see, he just brought up a point here that said he's not even sure if Toronto is going to make the playoffs. I'd be interested to see how much money you can make if you place that right now. And it's only because of the factor of what will the new general manager do. Sometimes GMs come in and they slow play it. They're like, all right, let's see how it works. Or like, we'll see if I can add a piece to this to fix this and maybe remove a smaller piece and do whatever. Whereas like a very aggressive GM may come in and be like, this guy sucks, get him out of here. I don't like his style, get him out of here. Matthews is the problem. Ship him off to Quebec, wherever they're going to send the Yotes there. But Renzi, what do you got?
So with the Wild being at 30-1, you guys keep bringing up all these names, these guys, Pastas and all these guys. Why don't the Wild? I understand like salary cap issues, but why don't the Wild go and try to get guys to try to be better? It doesn't seem like, I haven't heard anything. Like it's just kind of like, from what I hear, it seems that the Wild are just going to be like the same team. Like bleh. Like good luck to us again.
There's a couple reasons that I always say factor into this thing. Outside of the fact that we are in cap hell and we just will be, Billy G is doing a fantastic job of navigating it. And people have a hard time believing us at this point because we're like friends with him. Like we talk to him. He's great dude. I mean, we make merchandise about him and everything like that. But he's doing a great job navigating. There's a couple factors in this, in my opinion. If you're getting an offer to play in Minnesota, who has never really amounted to anything, that's got to play a factor. On top of that, too, you're dealing with dog shit weather. But like you could go to and play for a Florida team, make less or for a smaller contract and not get absolutely slapped around by taxes as well, too. Yeah. Which is what shocks me, how Toronto, who has, I think they have the highest tax rate in all of the NHL, is able to pull these massive contracts or like get these people to come there. Because like Matthews, if I remember seeing this right, Matthews, despite the fact that he gets paid, it's like 12 to 13 million a year, he only ever takes home like 7, which sounds crazy. Only 7 million. But he gets absolutely screwed over by and so I don't know. There's a lot of factors that go into it, I think, but I think the fact that like players do look at the future, like it'd be cool to play with Kyrell, but who's beyond that? We do have a deep, like, don't get me wrong, we have deep prospects, but I'm going to go to a team where I can, like Colorado or even Boston for that matter, where people are taking less money and have a higher chance to win championships. I'm going to go play there. Even if like the tax situation's out the window, weather situation's out the window, I'd rather go play for a team that's proven themselves, has a winning mentality, and people are willing to make deals in order to do stuff. Now, some people just want to get the bag and they'll go wherever, Suter, Parisi. But that's besides the point. So Veach brought up some good points here as well too. St. Paul is a tough sell. We have no money and we're not a team that tolerates ego for better or worse. Like I think a big problem was that the Wild's issue for the longest time is we preach culture. Shut the fuck up. That doesn't win you championships. Nobody cares about that. Like we have good people in the locker room. I don't care about that. I don't care about any of that. Give me the biggest scumbags in the world. Do they play great? Awesome. Let's go. I'm all for it. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm sure other people I don't know. I'm sure other people are different, but I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want winners. I want absolute dogs in our locker room. But I don't know. Drives me crazy.
Yes, please. Let's win. Love that.
Yeah. That's the name of the game.
Speaking of winning, let's talk about Minnesota Twins. Mike, got it on your hat. The Twins themselves, they are going into facing a Toronto team starting off tomorrow as well, too. I don't really like the matchup. I'm not going to put any money on that, but even though the Minnesota Twins, can't remember if the Twins were heavy favorites or not. I saw it. I can't remember.
They're underdogs tomorrow.
There are, yeah, it's because Varland's pitching. And there's a few other factors as well, too. But Twins, I think, could come out of this one ahead, personally. Pitching a strong. Joe Ryan is looking like an absolute dog. And now I'm kind of loving Cam's take on the last episode. And it might have been Cam. I can't remember, but somebody on here said that like I'd rather throw my money on Joe Ryan for the Cy Young. Granted, he's unlikely to win it as well too, but that's besides the point. Ryan's looking great.
Yeah, he's looking really good. I think that's what's been kind of helping the Twins here. I know we're on a little bit of a slide right now, but with Sonny Gray and Joe Ryan just keeping us in baseball games, it's definitely helping for sure. Obviously, we got to get our bats going a little bit, and I know we got some guys out on the injury list right now that hopefully we can get back. But yeah, I mean, you can't win baseball games scoring 1 or 2 runs. I mean, it just doesn't happen often where you can, pitch 8-9 innings of shutout baseball or 1-run baseball and win a game. I mean, you got to be scoring 4 to 5 runs to be winning these games, and it's just something we haven't been doing. I think, and we've said it in the past, a little early to like press the panic button per se. I mean, we're still first in the AL Central, even though the division is dog shit. But I mean, it's something that I think those two guys will get us relatively far throughout the season, just the way they've been pitching. So yeah, I mean, like I said, little early to be pressing the panic button, but they got to find ways to get guys on base and then timely hitting. I mean, we're leaving way too many runners. Once they're on base, we're just not getting those hits. We got to figure it out. I get it. It's a long season and we're only, 1/6 of the way through and, a lot of baseball to be played, but we had a little lead, maybe 4 or 5 games. And I don't think that lead is anything anymore. We're pretty tight now with some of these other teams like Detroit and Cleveland. And you see the White Sox playing a little bit better baseball too. We just don't really have much room for air right now. So we got to figure that out pretty soon.
But yeah, I don't know. One thing I just want to add to that for how bad the division is. I mean, we lose 6 of 8 games and we're still 2.5 game lead. Like that should not happen in baseball. So it's kind of comical at this point, but like we're working through the slumps right now. This is definitely a little downturn, but I think the pitching prevails over time. That's the one thing where that's what I think is different. I think we've said this multiple times on this show. Like this is what's totally different from years in the past where, we have four options. But yeah, there you go, Darius, losing 1-run games because that bullpen's going to get burnt out over time. And it just, you already kind of see it. So that's frustrating, but we're not anymore.
They're gonna be a tough team to bet throughout the regular season. That's no doubt, unless one of the aces is on the mound. The season's going to come down to probably our games within the division. The outside division games probably aren't going to be that big of a deal. Kind of like, I mean, Mike said we lost a bunch and we're still in first. But if we can do well against our division, I think we got enough pitching. We can have those 3 aces or 3 decent pitchers go out in the playoffs. They got a shot, especially with we got a couple of decent bats. And I don't know what the line is for them to win like the World Series right now. I would bet it, but or even them to win like the pennant, the AL pennant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this would be the time to hit it if you were going to.
Can I say something
substantial?
Yeah. Can I say something incredibly pessimistic? And you guys may bash this for me, and someone may clip this and like rub it in my face later. A big part of me kind of hopes that this continues to happen because I don't know how much faith I have in us in playoffs. And the odds makers, I'm kind of hope sees that or doesn't pay too close attention that slips the fact that we're just in a really shitty division, and that when it gets to playoff times, I can bet the other team and win some money based on that. It sounds bad. I feel terrible for saying it. If Cam was here, I know he'd rip my head off. But he's wrong and he's a loser. So I don't care what he says. But I kind of hope it continues because I'm not one. This was a big talking point in K-Fan the other day where it's like, do people put their pride or I don't even describe it, put their pride in their pocket and not bet against their sport? Wait,
They're bet against your team.
Either way, regardless, you bet against your own sports team or you would ride or die. I'm not one of those people. I will bet against Minnesota sports. Majority of the time, I'm going to be honest with you, I probably bet against Minnesota sports more than I bet on Minnesota sports. And that may make me a bad person. So be it. I don't care.
I'd like to think myself as a better. Oh, it is.
No, go for it. It's all about the money. I mean, if you see an angle on the other team, I mean, I wanted to bet the Stars 2 or 3 times in that series. I just couldn't get myself to do it. But I mean, really, it is all about the money. And so I don't shame anybody for doing so. I mean, I remember when the Twins played the Yankees that one year in the whatever that was, the wild card or whatever. I mean, I was hammering the Yankees, and it was very free. I mean, it's just one of those things. Hockey's a little different. Because we saw it this year. The Wild, went up 2-1 in the series. They played pretty damn well in 2 of those games, the 2 games they won. So it's kind of tough there to fade the Wild just because they are capable. But for the Twins in the playoffs, what are we just 17 games in a row we've lost in the playoffs? Like it's not going to work
for sure.
Right. I've had bad luck with it. I've had bad luck with betting against Minnesota teams. It's particularly the Wolves. I can't. That's the worst franchise in all of North American sports. I'll openly say that. But I have bet against Gopher football before, and I'm a huge Gopher football fan. And when I think they are dog shit, and they are dog shit, and then they pulling out against me, I'm like, I am the biggest sucker on this whole planet right now.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm so excited for college season because I want to watch Mike and Cam go at it in regards to Gophers betting lines. I think it's going to be so goddamn funny because I think we're going to have polar opposites of faith versus, I guess, distress. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But Redzi, what do you have there?
No, it's when you bet against your team, it's a win-win because if you lose your bet, your team wins, and if your team loses, you win your bet.
That's what we're going to have to refer to as just the credit to me bet. And whenever we want to throw out picks against our teams, it's just credit to me because I'm doing my part either way. I'm winning money or, like I said, I'm absolutely dogging our squad. So before we head out of this and before we get into our final picks for the weekend as well, too, I want to tell you guys about our shop. It's Twin season right now. Viking season coming up. We're going to be talking a ton of football. Football is where we're going to just hammer bets. You can expect a little bit more bits going forward with the shows as well, too. Might bring back the color wheel from the old HRHR days as well, too. But we're going to do it responsibly. I don't know how, but we're going to do it responsibly. But besides the point, make sure you guys head over to our shop today. It's in the link in the bio as well, too. Click that link. Check out our gear. If you love it, great. Buy it. Love it. And if you don't like it, don't tell me because I am a sad little boy and I will cry. But make sure you guys head over today. Check out any of our gear. We launched Viking stuff to them, and I couldn't be more excited. A few of the guys in the call have seen the Vikings gear that we're launching. Unbelievable. I'm super hyped for it. So head out, check it out today. Bets going into the weekend. Obviously, our Thursday show. Monday show is typically a recap of how our weekend went. Thursday show, we want to give you guys bets, and we want you guys to win some money by either fading us or riding us. So, Sammy, we always got to start with you, buddy. What do we got for the weekend?
This one's tough. I do have a couple of bets. I'm not really sure how I feel about them after seeing their first days. But I am going back to Sam Burns. I even talked about it earlier, doubling down on the guy. He shot a 3 under today, which is pretty solid. He's still 5 off the lead because this Harry Hall guy came out of nowhere and shot an 8 under today. But with 3 rounds left, you can get him almost better value than what he was pre-tournament. I'm going back to him again. I love him. He played pretty well today. He missed some putts that he definitely should have made. So I see him maybe around 4 or 5 under rather than 3 under. So that was my first kind of pick. I'm going back to him. I'm going to take him matchup tomorrow. He's probably going to be matched up against Billy Horschel or Siwoo Kim, who both had 3 under days today. So I definitely like him there. As far as weekend goes, I wanted to hopefully maybe the Stars are going to win tonight so I can hammer Vegas. I just think Vegas back home to clear it out. I'm not really sure the score right now, so that could also be just super dead. It's 1-1, I see. So yeah, I'm pulling for Dallas tonight just so I can hammer Vegas back at home. Another one I got tonight is the Heat plus 8.5. This is a game where I understand the line, but the Heat have been disrespected game after game, and I know they just lost back at home. So this is kind of the perfect spot for bettors to hop all over Boston to, at least even get to a 3-2 in the series. But I just give me the Heat. I think they're a very solid team. I also like Caleb Martin over 12.5 points tonight. Sharpshooter, 3-pointer. I think he's really solid. I know that Vincent guy is actually out tonight, so I like Caleb taking a little more shots. And at 12.5, I think the game actually started, so I'm not sure if you can go bet that, but maybe bet that live. So those are kind of my picks I'm looking forward to.
Love it. Mikey, what you got?
Yeah. Kind of sucks that we don't have, this could be the last night of NBA and NHL. So I told you I have Vegas money line tonight. I did sprinkle the Heat money line plus 255 half unit play. So I do like that. Oh, man, I mean, I know Boston did it when it came down to when they beat the Yankees in the ALCS, came back from 3-0. Come on, guys. I mean, I get they have a little bit more reason to be supportive of it, but come on. Yeah. And so, I think Miami puts it to bed tonight. Jimmy cooks, and unfortunately, no basketball or hockey over the weekend. I'll be at Canterbury on Saturday, betting the ponies, Marlowe's favorite. And then Sunday, I got I'm going to take Bailey Ober and the Twinkies.
Ooh, love it. Renzi boy, what you got?
I'm kind of on the basketball train with these guys. Just so you know, Sammy stats. Martin's got 7 points, and we're halfway through the second quarter. So that bet's looking real good.
That is terrific pace, Renzi.
Bad news for Mike and you, Sammy stats, is they're down 13. The Heat are down 13 right now. But 8.5 play.
Yep, beauty of NBA, game of runs. I'd rather have them down right now. Game of runs. Yes. Wait till the third quarter. I don't even turn it on into the fourth quarter.
Yes, I'm with you. So I also bet the Heat plus 8.5 tonight. I took that bet. And then I actually bet the Heat to win the whole thing plus 450 right now.
Oh.
Yep. So, because looks like Boston might win tonight. I don't think, even if they do, I don't think they win in Miami in Game 6. I don't think there's a chance. And then the Nuggets look really good, but I just don't – it's tough to say you're not sold on the Nuggets, but you think of the teams they beat. They beat the Wolves. Not that good. They beat the Lakers, who kind of just surprised everyone in the first round. I don't know. I don't see the flash of the Lakers. Allegedly, LeBron had a broken foot or something the whole time, whatever. So I think they got an awesome shot against Boston. I think Boston, like the odds right now are Boston or Nuggets to win like minus 135. I mean, there's really no value in that, but at plus 450, that's a good bet. I mean, I wouldn't throw the bank on it, but I mean, you put a unit or two play on that, it's a pretty good payout.
100%. Darius, we're going to call you out here. You're thinking the Twins are going to take 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays. I am there on Sunday, by the way. Going to the game, gonna be drinking Bamba juices all night long. But I'm not going to touch them tomorrow, as we talked about before. I didn't like the odds. I don't think they're going to pull it off, and I don't have a whole lot of faith in Barland as well too. But I'm going to take them on Saturday and Sunday, no matter what. I don't know if I'm going to go spread. I'm going to go money line. I haven't quite decided, but I'm definitely taking that stuff. But key thing I want to hand on as well too. Blackjack, whether you like it or not, we're riding the wave. If this is the end, I don't know if it'll hit this weekend. My guess is they start Monday. I don't think they would do a Sunday start for the NHL playoffs. But if Vegas gets by, Vegas, I don't like them at home. And they don't have the best record at home as well, too. And as we've seen throughout these playoffs, Florida's absolutely dogs on the road. So if it starts off there, doesn't matter what the line is. We have faith in Florida. I'm riding Florida all the way through. Blackjack, I'm bought in. I don't care if you flipped. I don't care if you changed your mind. I don't care if that was a joke and you're still riding the Florida Panthers. You've bought me. I'm in. Future, and I'm going to start playing those first 2 games because I trust them on the road straight up. Florida is, and this playoffs have been very goofy. There's home ice advantage usually. Doesn't seem to be the case in this playoffs, especially when it comes to Florida. Wagon. So we're riding that. We're riding hot. Florida all the way. Skull Panthers. Boys, I think at this point we wrap it up as well, too. One thing we want to say, anybody that tunes into the show, anybody that likes, anybody that's engaged in the show, throwing out comments, we appreciate you. Feel free to give it a like, give it a share if you could as well, too. Check us out on KFan. Don't know if I was supposed to tell that news. Nobody tell Bossman that I just broke the news, please. I would like to keep my job, but we will be on KFan talking sports betting in the future here, sooner than later as well, too. So hit the like button. Send us some love. Let us know as well too if you prefer to have the show at 7 and 8. I haven't heard a lot of people tell me that yet on what like the best idea for the show is. You can find me on Instagram, Marlo10K. Just shoot me a message like, hey, 8 o'clock is awesome, 7 o'clock is awesome. We haven't quite figured it out. We'll stick at 7:30 in the meantime, but that's besides the point. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We absolutely love you, and hopefully you guys have a good night. Win a lot of money.
So